Katniss Everdeen and Peeta Marlock become targets of the Capitol after victory in the 74th Hunger Games sparks a rebellion in the districts of Panem. What the hell? How's it going, everybody? Rob here, back with another episode of the audio podcast. This is episode 5 of NOVAKORP. Again, the audio podcast. And yeah, this episode we're going to be talking about Hunger Games, Catching Fire. The second installment of the franchise for the Hunger Games. And good lord, it's something. It really is. Like, good lord. Like, wow. Really, wow. Real quick, game news. Apparently, IGN talks about what Donkey Kong symbolizes, or at least what Nintendo thinks Donkey Kong symbolizes, in terms of the new Donkey Kong Bonanza. So, anyway, apparently Subnautica 2 studio will get a bonus, but it's not going to be possibly the amount that they are wanting, supposedly. Something really interesting that I thought was kind of funny, that was brought to my attention by Aden and MJ and them, was apparently there were some reports that or at least, I think it's like more of a rumor. I'm just going to say allegedly, because apparently I thought this was stupid. Somebody was making the claim that Ubisoft was telling people that if you own physical copies of like Ubisoft games, then you have to delete them. And I guess this was in correlation to the what's going on with online service games, which I think if you guys have played some of the online service games that I've played, you guys know a little bit of my nitpicks. Especially with Destiny 2, which I gotta say right now, I'm not, in the event that, let's say, anybody wants me to play the recent DLC, I'm not playing that anytime soon, if at all. For a short period of time, I was playing Destiny 2, trying to get back into it to see if I could rekindle that whole spark, but it's just kind of burned out, like literally. Like, I don't see myself. I would say, I'm gonna say this: if Bungie actually got their heads out of their asses, like just going on a quick rant about Bungie and Destiny, and in the event that, like, there's the rumor Destiny 3, in the event that, let's say, Bungie actually had the balls to get their heads out of their asses and make a better game, instead of, like, just trivial and freaking just over the top and almost kind of ridiculous freaking, boss design, in terms of like loot, in terms of customization and all these other things, basically just a revamp of their previous works, then you know what? I probably would come back to it. I mean, hell, I hate to say it, but freaking games like No Man's Sky, they managed to make a lot of different changes that basically continuously revigorate the game for people to come back to check it out and do a variety of different things. I mean, honestly, it would have been really cool to, especially with Destiny, like freaking Destiny 1, Destiny 2, to literally go from planet to planet, not like as a loading screen, like actually literally going from planet to planet and going from the, like, maybe I would say this, in terms of like transitioning to the planet, okay, I get that. Like, if you're going to like hyperspeed, okay, I get that. But let's say in the event that like you're playing the game and there's like space combat or something like that. That would have been pretty cool, really cool like addition to the game. But it just, I mean, honestly, like thinking about it now, they never let go of Halo. Like it just felt like Halo with magic. And unfortunately, they kept being the same thing over and over again. Again, I was a big fan. I was a freaking shill for Destiny and Destiny 2. But there's quite a few things that could have been better. There's some decisions that they could have been better. Hell, I mean, even though I like games like The Witcher or Cyberpunk, especially Cyberpunk recently, one thing I will gripe about is the fact that, you have customization for a character that you never get to see. There's no third person for it. The only times you ever see... actually, I'll take this back. The only time you actually do see your character, quite possibly, and which is odd, is the fact that you see them in the tower. That is the only time they go into the third person for your character. At all. It would have been nice, instead of just reserving third person for the tower, or hell, even at times where you're using a weapon like your sword or your specials. It would have been nice if they actually put a little bit more effort in terms of like actually allowing us to see our character more in that game. I know that's like a really petty gripe, but dude, seriously. But apparently we're supposed to be getting a Street Fighter 6. I thought, I haven't played any. I'll be honest, I haven't played any of the Street Fighter games, and for sure I thought that we had a Street Fighter 6 already. I could be very, very wrong. But yeah. Apparently, Mario Kart World's controls were inspired by devs' love of extreme sports. Weird, but okay. But all in all, I will say in terms of and apparently Guilty Gear got canceled. Never played it. I'm kind of curious as to why they got canceled. If I would have to guess, it'd probably be about their characters. But apparently, yeah.
What would probably be about their characters? Can you please provide...
But looking at it, rumor, Guilty Gear, got it up right now. Kind of wondering why they got canceled. Looking at it, Guilty Gear got canceled. Guilty Gear game has reportedly been canceled by Arc System Works. This is according to the exclusive article from the Insider Gaming, which unfortunately doesn't give us a whole lot to go on. Suggests that the project wasn't finished, but it's unclear how long the Japanese developer had been working on it. So I guess there was nothing really specified. There was a Guilty Gear that was supposed to be in the works, and they didn't really get an opportunity to finish it. So, bully. And I guess if anything, talk about IRL stuff. In the event that I haven't talked about it yet, my wife and I, a while back, we got a bunch of chickens. They've fully developed, and they start laying eggs, which is pretty damn cool. And as of late, I've been trying to use up some of the eggs that we got from our chickens to make breakfast and stuff like that. Actually made a really nice scrambled eggs with beef bacon. My wife doesn't like pork, but beef bacon with a few strawberries and some butter artisan toast. So that was really, really good. Also with the eggs, I added a little bit of a Jamaican seasoning and some seasoning that I got from a package, or at least a season and sauce pack from the Hot Ones. So really good seasoning though. That stuff is like really bomb. But all in all, everything is hunky-dory. Some of the gaming stuff has been nice. As of late, been playing the shit out of freaking Death Stranding 2. Have had a lot of fun with that game. It has been just so good. And you guys will probably see that a little bit of that when if you guys end up watching, some of my gaming content on the YouTube side of things. So, anyway, with that being said, I think we can talk about well, what I was going to talk about, which is Catching Fire from the second movie, and I believe second book of the Hunger Games series. Now, where do I begin with this? I guess, if anything, to start us off, first directed by Francis Lawrence, written by Simon Bufo, and Michael Art, and Susan Collins, starring Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, Liam Hemsworth, as well as Woody Harris, and everybody else. This movie was, again, I want to say, with what we've experienced thus far in the previous Hunger Games movie, you're gonna feel a lot, and you're gonna feel bad for a lot of these characters that are going through the shit they're going through. As I mentioned, towards the beginning of this podcast, this is a little bit after the last Hunger Games, where Katniss and Peeta basically not really cheated, but they basically almost had like a couple's, basically beat the Capitol at their own game. And in a sense, Katniss is threatened by the president, I almost said Jon Snow, but President Snow, for that that would have been funny, like Jon Snow as President Snow for this, a younger president. That would have been hilarious. But anyway, long story short, Peeta, Katniss won the Hunger Games. President Snow is kind of peeved that they cheated him or beat the system, and realized that Katniss's actions may cause rebellion within the districts, and sure enough, it does. And Katniss and Peeta, unfortunately, see a little bit of that as they go through their victory tour, which I'm gonna say, in a sense, and you know what, if I end up going into spoilers, I'm just gonna say this right now. Please, I apologize. I'm gonna try to say as least as I can, but just overall story. They go through the districts, which again, I would say to the Capitol, that's kind of a dick move, where they're literally parading the couple that survived, and not just the couple that survived, the couple from the district that doesn't belong to theirs. So, kind of a thing. We get to see a little bit of emotion in terms of like what happened with Rue, and that from like the first movie, which again, really, really freaking sad. We're introduced to a new game master who is kind of, I want to say, crafty, but overall, like, really good at, supposedly really good at his job. Now, after the quote-unquote victory tour, it's brought ahead that they're now coming up to the 75th Hunger Games, or the third Quarter Quell. And in terms of this quote-unquote Quarter Quell, they reap the contenders from the previous Hunger Games. Meaning, automatically, it's basically kind of determined between Haymitch, Katniss, and Peeta. And unfortunately, since Katniss is the only winner from District 12 who's a woman, she automatically gets picked. And at one point, Haymitch gets picked, but Peeta volunteers as tribute. So it's Peeta and Katniss yet again working together. So, all in all, they get to see some of the other victors work together with them and do their best to try to survive the Hunger Games. And I will say that towards the very end, for those who have never watched this movie, towards the very end, it gets crazy, it gets drastic, and everything that happens in the film basically leads up to what happens in the next movie, which is just about all-out war between the districts and the capital. So, overall, I'm going to say this. There's quite a few characters that they introduced in this movie that were a lot of fun. My personal favorites were, I would say, Philip Seymour Hoffman, who played Pollock. He's the new game master. You had Woody Harrelson, who continues playing his character as Haymitch. You had, Stanley Tucci came back as Caesar. I will say everybody in this movie was really, really damn good. Like, no joke, really, really good. And I enjoyed every one of them in this movie. And like I said before, everything that transpires in this film ultimately leads to the drastic events that occur for the upcoming movies. Well, at least, the part 1 and 2 of The Mockingjay. But yeah, again, this was amazing. Like, absolutely freaking amazing. A lot of characters that were a lot of fun to watch. Story-wise, it gets you. And makes me look forward to what comes next. So, anyway. All in all, I need to think of a rating. And you know what? I'm going to go give this a watch. Watch it now. Watch it now. Because, yeah, no, it was pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So, anyway, I think for now, I'm going to go ahead and end this podcast now. This, again, really, really freaking good. I enjoyed this. Watch it. Go watch it now. Now. Do it now. If you have never watched it. And next podcast I'm kind of deciding whether or not to do both films, discussing both part 1 and 2 at the same time, or do one at a time. We will wait and see. But for now, I'm going to end it here. Thank you all for checking out the podcast. If you guys can, especially on the YouTube side, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media. Again, all of our stuff is in the descriptions, wherever you're, consuming the content. On the YouTube side, please check out our daily content in the weekly podcast. With that, and by the way, and when I mean the weekly podcast, I do mean the gaming podcast that I do with Aden and MJ, where currently we are still playing Danganronpa. So, anyway, thank you all for watching or listening, wherever. And I will see you guys at another time. This is Rob signing off. Have a good one. Take care. And, yeah, peace out.